cheap fee letting agents. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Sophie Lang in the beautiful town of Falmouth. And we're here today to talk about letting agent fees. Getting a bit cheap, aren't they?
Yes, I agree with you. I think we hear a lot of talk about sales fees in the press and in trade press, and people talk about the race to the bottom. But I think it's happening more so in lettings than it ever has before.
Okay.
I think the pressures on agencies on losing stock currently, because landlords are selling, is putting pressures on agencies to try and get stock at any fee. And it's doing the whole system and our whole industry a disservice.
Would it surprise you, and this is a stat that I bang on about constantly, is that the number of rental properties is actually still growing, not growing very much. But the biggest challenge is OpenRent, which, let's be honest, is cheap as chips at £39 a month. Do you think that's something to do with it? When, we looked at the whole postcode of TR postcode, which is where you're based, and 15 to 16% of the properties are with OpenRent. And if you go 5 years ago, it was only 5.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I understand that although agents are feeling the pinch, landlords are feeling the pinch. So they will go for cheaper options. They will go for the online agencies that can offer them kind of packages. I think that what our industry does really badly is it doesn't show what we do for our fee. What we don't shout about enough of what they get for our fee. With the OpenRent system, they are getting a basic package, but they're not getting the same level of protection they would with an agent.
Are we really rubbish at proving our worth as letting agents?
Yes, 100%.
Because all we do is, as property managers, is ring them up when there's a problem.
Absolutely, we just throw keys at them and then just ring the landlords. We only, at the moment, most agents only contact their clients if there's a problem, so it's a negative conversation. You need to be communicating more on everyday things to let them know what you're doing every day in the background. A lot of landlords who do use agents want to be hands off, so they don't want to hear about the everyday, but sometimes we have to show them, even if it's an overview report every month of what we've done, to justify what our fee is and why we're there to earn that.
What do you do? And I know you're trained by the awesome Sally Lawson and her team. What are you doing specifically to stop losing landlords to either cheaper fee agents or on OpenRent, which is again just a cheap fee agent?
Yeah, I mean, one thing we've learned, we've been with Agent Rainmaker for a couple of years now, and we joined after we took over and rebranded to Lang Llewellyn because we wanted to make sure that we were building a business that was robust and that we had multiple services to offer and multiple income streams to be a really robust business in hard times. And one thing we do with clients quite a lot, if a client comes to us and feels that we're too high and they could get a cheaper option as well, is to compare the service of what they're going to get compared to what they get for us.
Okay.
And it's to stand out all those highlights that they don't get. We've got all our staff have qualifications. We train them every day.
Shouldn't you be doing that before they get to that point now?
True. We shouldn't ever get to that point. It shouldn't. And it's very rare we have clients come to us about fee unless we're about to put them up, which happens, we review our fees annually. So we will have those conversations because they'll ask how can you justify increasing your fee this year? And obviously we then have to have that conversation. But we are also a business. We are also needing to be profitable. I know Sally talks very much about the fact that the average profit of a independent letting agent is about 11%, which isn't great for an industry, and we're seeing that with agencies selling at the moment because of rising costs.
I mean, you've bought a few, haven't you?
We bought a few, and a lot of those are because of rising costs, rising pressure, and they just don't want the hassle anymore. Much like landlords.
I mean, final thought on this video is what would your advice be to letting agents who are finding landlords, dissipate away and to cheap fee agents? What advice would you give them?
I think that if they're getting to that stage, like you said, I think it's a bit too late probably. But I think if you're now, even if you aren't losing landlords for fee, you need to be educating your landlords on what you do every day. Tell them what we're facing. So many landlords aren't being told about renters' rights incoming. They're not being told about all these things that agents are dealing with in the background. So it's all about communication and making sure your clients know that you're worth the fee that they're paying you.
Lovely. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.